Thanks and welcome to join me on the 6:15. I'm Kejan Henry Atunde. We'll begin with our headlines. Archbishop gives ultimatum for release of abducted priest. His Grace Andrew Nkia warns that the priest is not freed. All Catholic institutions in Dobdinary will shut down, and a peace march to the kidnappers' hideouts will follow as the church maintains it is not going to pay ransom. And political tension is rising in Adamawa as the ruling CPDM and opposition UNDP intensify their campaigns ahead of regional election. As well, more than 1,000 teachers have actually deserted the public service as government reports acute shortage. Top stories. Thanks and welcome to join us. We can be linked through our respective platforms on Canal D International. We begin from the Northwest region where the Archbishop of the Bamenda Ecclesiastic Province has given an ultimatum for the release of the abducted priest. Archbishop Nkia actually made the call for the priest to be freed in a pastoral letter that he circulated or has been circulated, and says that unless the priest is freed, the institutions or Catholic institutions in the Dobdinary will shut down, and a march to the kidnappers' hideout orchestrated, warning the church is not ready to pay any ransom for the release. Vituals with Sherifa Saleh, curls from Northwest Chief Correspondent Annie Collins.
The Archbishop of Bamenda has given up until Wednesday, November 26 for supposed separatist fighters to release the parish priest of Babisi. A pastoral letter from the bishop's house in Bamenda on Sunday, November 23 states that the Reverend Father was abducted in Babawan village by gunmen on November 15 on his way back home from attending the visit of the Apostolic Nuncio Tundop. Even 4 other priests and a laity who went to broker the release of Father John Berinwe were also taken into custody, though later set free 2 days after. According to His Grace Andrew Nkia, if by Wednesday the man of God is not free, all Catholic institutions of the Dobdinary, including church houses and schools, shall be shut down, because, as he put it, the church cannot guarantee the security of their people in those localities. Finally, the head of the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province says if by Friday 28 the abducted priest is still in the hands of the kidnappers, the Catholic community, including himself, will stage a march to the separatist hideout to either bring back the priest or jointly stay there with him. As concerns a 10 million franc ransom demanded by the separatists, Archbishop Andrew Nkia says the church does not pay ransom. It should be recalled that it was on the same Bamenda and Jackie Kumbo Road that the late Cardinal Christian Tumi was taken into the bush by gunmen, still within the context of the now 9-year-old security crisis currently rocking the 2 English-speaking regions of Cameroon.
Well, thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh. We'll stay with you as you are telling us that commercial activities have been paralyzed in at the Sandpit neighborhood in Buea, that is in the southwest region of the country, as prolonged months of power outages has actually forced the businesses to shut down. And of course, this is not going well, as many of them are moving into risky areas, especially when there is much insecurity. Sherifa.
The dust is massively rising even before the heart of the dry season. Inhabitants struggle to navigate, cars and motorbikes meandering through narrow paths. All these are fruits of a very slow pace of work on the Ngoso Omnisport stretch of road, imposing enormous difficulties. And here at Madagascar Siteve stretch, the situation is deplorable. The road blocked, work abandoned, and a nightmare for the denizens.
Ça fait un bon bout de temps qu'ils sont venus casser les routes. Ils ont entamé les routes. les mêmes chantiers, donc ils ont entamé plusieurs chantiers au même moment dans toute la ville de Yaoundé. On ne sait pas pourquoi, juste après les élections, tout a été abandonné. C'est comme vous voyez là, la poussière partout, on ne parvient pas, la maladie partout. Même les motos, vous voyez, c'est tellement compliqué pour nous. Ils viennent d'abord, ils bloquent les routes de part et d'autre, ça ne passe pas et ils ne sont pas au chantier. Ils ont abandonné, ils sont partis, on ne sait pas pourquoi.
A handicap for car owners and taxi drivers who are forced to go around distant places to get to the different nearby neighborhoods.
La sorte s'ouvre parce que d'abord, cette route est d'abord majeure, primordiale, qui a servi au moins 6 quartiers, si je ne me trompe pas. Pour ne pas dire, si on regarde Madagascar, Stevet, Nkolbiko, Bimassi, Mendong et poussière que vous connaissez là.
This has also hindered the functioning of the Madagascar market, with a few still battling with the dust to sell out their items.
Well, sorry for that mix-up. That was Hastings Chair reporting there on the slow pace of the construction work presently going on at the Madagascar stretch or neighborhood and Ngusu in Yaoundé. Now back to Buea, where the commercial activities have been paralyzed as a result of month-long power outage in the Sandpit neighborhood in Buea, that is in the southwest region of the country. And this has actually forced businesses to shut down, as well as rising insecurity, as we are gathering from you, Sherifa Saleh, with calls from our southwest correspondent, Jama Richard.
A prolonged power outage in Sandpit, Buea has brought commercial activity in the area to a near standstill, leaving business owners counting heavy losses. The absence of electricity has made it difficult for many enterprises to operate, with generators becoming the only alternative source of power. However, rising fuel prices have made generator use increasingly unsustainable, significantly reducing profit margins.
I think since September we have not had lights. It has crumbled all the businesses around this premises, the whole of Sandpit. Where you look up there, you see the transformer got burnt. They came, they replaced it. Within less than 30 minutes, it got burnt again, and since then we have not had lights.
The garment sector has been among the hardest hit, as tailors and small-scale clothing producers depend on electric sewing machines for their work. Many have been unable to meet customer demands or maintain their businesses, raising fears of potential closures and job losses.
Have light, so we don't know the crime that we have committed, that there's no light. So the government should even try and see what to do so that we can have light, so that businesses will go the way they're supposed to go.
The risks of the candle, the government should see the candle burn when sleep have taken the children or the mother, it can cause damage.
Beyond economic hardship, the outage has contributed to growing insecurity in the area, with extended darkness creating conditions favorable for criminal activity.
Both house and my workshop, there's a lot of trouble there.
Challenge really bad, we cry because the light no day.
The community hopes that authorities will act swiftly to restore power and provide relief to affected households and businesses. They argue that electricity is essential for daily activities and income generation, warning that the current situation could lead to further economic decline.
Thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh. Political tension is rising in Adamawa, that is in the Adamawa region, as the ruling CPDM party and the opposition NUDP are actually battling and intensifying campaigns to make sure that they dominate the 5 divisions of that region. Meantime, opposition FSNC has actually opposed and declared publicly that it is not going to be part of that election. Indeed, Maureen is reporting that the government and opposition are at dagger's throat.
A tense political battle is shaping up between the CPDM and the UNTP in the 5 divisions of the Adamawa region. While the CPDM holds a majority of municipal councillors in Bere and Mayo Bayo, the UNTP leads comfortably in the remaining 3 divisions, making the context highly competitive. The CPDM is relying on party loyalty and internal discipline to strengthen its position, while the UNTP highlights its achievements at the helm of the regional council.
Même si vous n'aimez
You will appreciate the work we've done to improve the lives of the population. We have strong arguments based on what we have achieved. But as with the CPDM, if people truly wanted the facts, they wouldn't have even presented our candidates. Both parties are actively campaigning through community meetings, door-to-door outreach, and strategy sessions. Though not represented in municipal councils, is positioning itself as a potential disruptor, hoping to capitalize on weaknesses within the two leading parties. We speak one language, the language of being useful, the language of development for our region. We believe that after the elections, the CPDM will do even better. The Electoral College includes 554 municipal councillors and 988 traditional leaders with 14 polling stations spread across the 5 divisions. The outcome of this regional race could reshape the political landscape in Adamawa region.
Cameroon's education sector is under very serious strain as more teachers are actually leaving the country for greener pastures as a result of poor working conditions and very poor salary. In fact, this has triggered mass exodus as we are gathering from Ambo Gladys, who is saying that unless the reforms are carried out, we are dying, or Cameroonians, or the future of the children will be compromised. Ambo.
It is a growing concern for school administrators across Cameroon as teachers continue to disappear from their duty post without notice. Their sudden absence often creates a significant vacuum, leaving school authorities scrambling to ensure lessons continue uninterrupted.
You have 10 teachers and suddenly you lost 5. You can see that it's not the good situation.
Some public secondary schools have operated for years with only a few teachers, a situation made worse in suburban and crisis-affected regions. The shortage has forced many schools to depend on PTA-recruited staff, and government introduced distance learning programs to bridge the gap.
The fact that the teachers have abandoned the classes, but we have better results. It's just a matter of organization.
You can see that the Minister of Secondary Education put in place the digital learning, which permits all to solve this situation.
We asked the principal to use the distance learning to take even part-time teachers.
Authorities say this has helped some understaffed schools achieve strong results.
In one of school of Ngaoundere there, it was a government high school. The year before, there was 0% in BAPC, and 1 year after, using the digitalization, the distance learning, with 4 teachers, the principal were able to increase the result. He moved to 0% for 100%.
However, this approach does not benefit everyone. Many students, especially in rural or economically challenged communities, lack reliable access to the internet, limiting effectiveness of online learning. It should be noted that close to 1,000 teachers have so far been identified as having abandoned their post. Reports suggest that many are in search of better opportunities elsewhere.
Very much, Ambo Gladys. Meanwhile, Morindi now takes a look on the push factors that is actually leading to the massive exodus out of the country, as stakeholders are warning that if the trend continues, then Cameroon will be doomed. Morindi.
C'est le salaire. C'est le salaire qui conditionne un être humain. Si tu n'es pas mieux traité, tu n'es pas mieux payé, tes conditions ne sont pas assurées. Pourquoi tu vas rester là si tu veux mieux ailleurs?
Peter, a technical education teacher, has watched more than 60 colleagues in his field leave for better opportunities abroad in the past 5 years. He says their reasons are valid: low pay and tough working conditions. Teaching is not valued or paid at its true worth. If teachers were better supported, given at least the minimum they deserve, I don't think many would have felt the need to leave the country.
In
terms of salary, I believe teachers are severely underpaid. They don't receive what they truly deserve. Teaching is perhaps the only profession without proper advantages. You might come in with 10,000 francs to school and leave with less because you end up spending to help children. Salaries are low, and even administrative processes like file handling are very slow. You have to wait forever. When teachers go abroad, you hear they are well paid, well treated, and well respected. That alone motivates others to try their luck elsewhere. Most teachers interviewed echoed the same concern: poor salaries that don't allow even a modest standards of living. Take my case. I submitted a file for family allowance 3 years ago. I still haven't received anything. Things like this don't encourage. If a better opportunity arises elsewhere, we leave. There are serious difficulties related to salary structure and teacher support. The government needs to see how to improve these. Even when promotions are granted, it doesn't immediately reflect in the teacher's pay, and salary conditions must be reviewed. They argue that until teachers are properly valued by governments and paid in line with economic realities, many will continue to seek greener pastures abroad, deepening the cracks in Cameroon's education system.
Maureen, and the National Hematology Day has opened in Yaoundé with focus on blood safety. And this second edition actually brings together experts to promote safe blood transfusion and best practices. The event is actually out to educate and to train and exchange the best practices as we are gathering from you at the Bonaventure.
Hematology is the study of blood and blood disorders. The second National Hematology Days has brought together experts to highlight issues affecting hematology and blood transfusion in Cameroon and share experiences.
There are many safety measures to reduce the risk of infection in blood units. The first one is to select the good people, the good blood donors. Good blood donors are those who are low-risk donors. It means that in the community, you select the community where you don't have a high risk level. When you have selected them, when they come at the blood service, you interview them to know about their medical history and to identify in their medical history whether they have an infection risk.
The National Blood Transfusion Society has hands on deck with volunteers to elevate the rate of free and quality blood donation, though with some challenges.
There's a lot of misinformation about blood donation, use of blood. Some people will tell you, you take our blood and take to witchcraft. Oh, this one will receive my blood and take all my blessings and all sorts of things. And so it is up to us to educate, to sensitize, to educate, to provide all the information, and especially information for change of character, change of behavior.
Expected outcome of the conclave includes strengthening of the quality of management system in blood diffusion and a strategic plan for the prevention of infectious risks from blood transfusion.
At Bonaventure drawing the curtains for this edition of the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry. Atimbe, thanking you for being there with us. Matthew Fangwa is just right ahead with the debrief, the l'actualité sportive. From all of us, it's goodbye.